How's it yangin' dudes and dudettes? My name is Sean. Welcome back to my channel. It seems like a lot of the fun that we've been poking at the mainstream media, my channel, other independent media, we've all been hashing out with the establishment, you know what I'm saying? And so make sure you smack that like for the gravy because man, the DNC, I understated it yesterday just how cushy the DNC has made the criteria for Andrew Yang. It's no coincidence, boys. But yes, smack like for the gravy so all the worried Yang gangers out there can know it's okay, everything's fine, and Andrew Yang is a shoe-in for a February debate, and I'm going to tell you exactly how he's going to shock the world come let's see here, February 3rd. We're going to shock the world, guys. I'm telling you, it's going to be big. And I'm going to explain. Oh my God, I'm excited. I can't even talk. I'm going to explain exactly how Andrew Yang has a huge path to victory. But first, I bet you thought I was going to, make a couple plugs for the channel, right? I ain't gonna do that. Nothing that costs money, anyways. But we do have our Twitter, you know what I'm saying. So if you guys want to see some cool stuff that I tweet out, you know what I'm saying, or retweets, whatnot, we got Twitter. We also have the Discord. These links can be found on the main channel page, but we'll get into that later on because I got the plugs at the end of the video. Because today, what I want to plug is Andrew Yang, guys. Okay, we are maybe 10% of the way there for our next goal, and it's kind of a short 48-hour goal, but the goal is $1 million for 48 hours to get our ad on the air. We're having a huge ad buy, a huge ad drop in Iowa with the caucus coming up February 3rd. This is one of the key players to how we're going to make Yang explode, especially come February 3rd. So make sure you guys get your donations in. I don't care if it's $1. I don't care if you got to rob an old lady. I don't care if you got to yank a little kid up by his ankles and get his lunch money out of his pocket. You know what I'm saying? I'm just joking. It's just sarcasm, guys. Don't freak out. But you know what I mean. Come on. We got to get out there. We got to donate. We got to donate. I'm doing my money bombs. You got to do your money bombs. So that's today's biggest plug. If you don't do anything else, you don't take away anything else from today's video, make sure you do this, okay? Also, if you really want to help Iowa, caucusing is one of the big things. But other than caucusing, make sure you text bank. Make sure you phone bank. Go to yangdaily10.com. That's in the description. There's easy tutorials on how to do it. A lot of people have been asking me, they don't know how. Get on this, guys. It is difficulty level easy. Come on, guys. Difficulty level easy. Let's go, gamers. We can do this, guys. yangdaily10.com, okay? Also, if you guys are unsure how to do phone banking and stuff like that, I'm not sure about text banking, but I know for sure Paget has a lot of stuff where she's phone banking right now. She's live right now as I'm speaking. So if you guys don't know how to do that, go watch her. Go phone bank with her. It's a group thing. You guys can have fun together. You know what I'm saying? Other than, like me making videos, other people making videos, other people sharing content, getting things out there, smacking likes and sharing videos from these different Yang tubers. That's the only way that we could really help Iowa and getting Yang to explode is getting people on the ground, phone banking, text banking, getting into Iowa for the caucuses. And that brings me to my next point. So I read this article yesterday, but I drastically understated just how easy it is for Andrew Yang to make the next February debate. It is going to shock everybody whenever he shows up again on the February debate, because most of the people who watch CNN are of the elder age group, right? And they're all like, what happened to Andrew Yang? Well, nobody's about Andrew Yang. So, but the thing was, all the polls were drastically I guess favored towards the older generation anyways, so that really wasn't showing any of our real support. But now they're keeping the same criteria. He's already met another poll, I think was what Paget's video was just about. So I think he has 2 or 3 polls. He only needs 1 poll left. But the delegates, guys, at first, let's see, where's it at? Okay, the first pathway of the polling requirement is 4 poll threshold candidates must earn at least 5% support and are 4 national or early state polls from New Hampshire, Nevada, or South Carolina. In order to count as qualifying polls, the polls must be sponsored by different organizations, or if sponsored by the same organization, cover different geographical areas. The second pathway is early state polling threshold. Candidates must get at least 7% in 2 early state polls, again from only New Hampshire, Nevada, South Carolina. Unlike the first path, these polls can be sponsored by the same organization and can also be conducted in the same geographical area. But the main way for Andrew Yang to get on the debate stage is super easy. And I know that I've said in the past that, that with potential, air quotes, Russia hacking the DNC, Could have been unanimous. You know what I'm saying? Coming out for Yang. Anyways, I don't know, but they've made it extremely easy, and us putting up the pressure, Yang trending worldwide, being the 4th most talked about person on the debate stage. I think the DNC is feeling the pressure to stay fair and unbalanced, right? Or unbiased. I think that's what I'm trying to say. So the new modified criteria for the debate, which is sandwiched evenly between Iowa caucuses February 3rd and New Hampshire primary on February 11th, includes the previous criteria of qualifying through the polling and grassroots threshold, but it also includes a new second pathway to qualify. Any candidate who is awarded at least one pledged delegate to the Democratic National Convention based on the results of the Iowa caucuses as reported and calculated by the Iowa Democratic Party will be able to participate. And on the caucus night, which is February 3rd, mark your calendars, on caucus night, pledged delegates are up for grabs in Iowa. 41 pledged delegates. 41, guys. So if Yang doesn't come away with one pledged delegate, something's wrong. Now, at first, I thought this was just an easy ploy for Bloomberg to be able to get, a caucus delegate, because it'd be easy for billionaires like him or Tom Steyer to easily just go on Craigslist and pay thousands and thousands of people to come out and caucus on the one night without ever having to do all the phone banking, without ever having to do all the on the ground work, which is just another corrupt, ugly way for billionaires to just throw money into the political system. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that they shouldn't be allowed to use their own money, but people see right through it. You know what I mean? Andrew Yang's right. People are going to see right through that. So if Bloomberg does show up with 1,000 people to just scream Bloomberg at the caucuses, I thought that was originally what the DNC did, and that might be the route they're taking. But it doesn't matter, because all of the Yang gang is descending upon Iowa right now. They are descending upon Iowa. There's so many people out there. So if you're able to, for even that one, I don't know what day it is on the February 3rd, if it's a weekend or whatever, but if you can take one day off of work just to go there for that one caucus, just to get out there and help with that Yang gang. And if you don't know what a caucus is, I was watching Problem Solver Politics. I'm so sorry, I had to jump around to pull this tab up because I had all these other tabs pulled up, but this one, right? So I do want to play a clip from Problem Solver Politics. I hope they don't mind. I don't think they would. Any exposure is exposure, right? But Cardin Ellis gives a perfect example of how easy it is to win to win huge amount of delegates in a caucus, especially with as vibrant and as outgoing and as energized as the Yang gang, how hard we fight. If 500-600 people of our Yang gang go out there, we'd be comparable to Bernie. We would. Bernie's probably going to be the largest people out there. The Burners, they for them to being as slanderous as they are, have to give them credit for showing up for their candidate, right? They are getting out there, and we don't even have to have the same amount of support to be able to just get the right amount of people in the room for the caucus. So I want to go ahead and play the clip because he does it. He explains it a lot better, and it's actually a lot fun. So keep in mind that get your ass out there so we can help caucus. You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and roll this clip.
Because our caucus was declared as being a majority caucus. Okay. Anyway, the way caucuses are held is basically you have to show up to the location. And this is where the first part of the fun happens, because now instead of just like voting by mail before you go to work, or, going to the ballot box on your way home from soccer practice or whatever, like there's or cast your ballot online, there's actually a physical location you have to go to. So it's kind of fun. It's like the difference between watching an NBA game and going to an NBA game. All right. It's totally awesome. So you head to this location, and then everybody's like, just like balled out with their gear. Like if they're a Biden person, they got the Biden things on. If they're a Bernie person, underneath their beard and the insects crawling out of their beard, you know what I'm saying? They've got like their Bernie bling. And then of course there's like the Steyer people who were just paid on Craigslist to show up. But anyway, you actually head to the location, and then everybody's in these groups, and then there's the early worms that show up, and they're making noise, and then more people show up, and then other people come in, like one of them's got a boombox and he's blasting his personal, let's just say it's a Yang Gang song. Like, it's actually really fun seeing how each one of these groups support their candidate. Now, honestly, as long as everybody's well behaved and they're very pro their candidate, it's a positive experience. Every once in a while when they start jeering at each other, a fight might break out or something like that. But anyway, the different groups show up, and then ultimately at a certain time they shut the doors. Okay, they shut the door. So usually it's like there's a registration and an entrance time. I believe in Andrew Yang's case, it's going to be 6:30 to 7. But like at 7 p.m., they shut the doors. And the reason why is because they have to count the amount of people there. You know what I'm saying? And if 1,200 people showed up and your 52 people that are for Julian Castro are there, sorry, you're not 15% of the 1,200. Okay, so now you could choose to join another group. You're non-viable. You can choose to go home if you want to. You can sit in the corner and stay and do nothing. Or you can go to that group over there of Martin O'Malley's friends, you know what I'm saying, that are still holding out. And you can join them, and you can hopefully create your own caucus group of 15% with all of like the B team. And basically that starts happening. So they close the doors so they know what group there is so they can measure the percentages. And then each candidate has a different percentage of people that show up. And then all of the non-viables end up joining those groups or creating their own. And so pretty soon it's almost like watching cells, like when oil is with water. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like watching the different groups like bond and then break. And then finally there usually ends up being anywhere between as little as 3 and as much as usually 5 or 6. Because after all, you can only have so many 15s stacked into 100%. You know what I'm saying? There usually really ends up being kind of like a top 2 or 3 and then like that 4th group. And then that's when it gets really cool. You know what I'm saying? Because then to choose the winner of that night and the caucus, this isn't how it's done in Iowa, but like, for example, in other places, they will then have oftentimes, pledge delegates that will just be assigned and vote, or other times they'll have an audible vote, like a cheer vote, like, and then a judge will sit up and be like, okay, who's for candidate A? And then everybody screams from candidate A group. And I mean, it is the closest thing to medieval, like, Europe, where like, the Vikings have been spotted on the horizon.
All right, guys, so you get the idea, right? Imagine, of course, I don't think it's an audible vote like he's saying, but that would be super fun. But just imagine everybody going there, and of course, everybody's so iffy about Buttigieg. Everybody's so iffy about Warren. The only people that you're probably not going to be able to yang in their face, right? Like, because we're awesome at yanging people, right? And we have all the potential voters in one room to be able to yang in one night. So imagine all the disenfranchised Booker voters who might be lingering because he's dropped out. Imagine, Tulsi's small group who would obviously come over and help Yang, get some delegates, because they're obviously probably not going to have 15%, enough people in there to get 15%. So imagine if you absorb some Elizabeth Warren voters, actually really yanking them in real life, and then absorb a bunch of Pete Booty, a bunch of that Pete Booty, just absorb them right on up, and then Tulsi comes over and it helps you guys out, right? Maybe even Steyer's group, y'all just start yanking people, of course, unless like he said correctly, it was Steyer, but again, if Yandring doesn't come out with one pledge delegate, that would be insane. And on top of that, him smashing the polls would be crazy. No longer would they be able to snub him as, a not serious candidate. He would 100% be in the running, and they wouldn't be able to deny that, especially with him being on the debate stage, right? And let me tell you how 100% easy it would be to get Buttigieg supporters. Do you really think after Buttigieg supporters are seeing stuff like this, where these singing protesters keep interrupting Pete Buttigieg, he can't even talk. Yeah, you definitely want the same thing, don't you? Yeah, Pete takes money from fossil fuel billionaire seat. Like, you really think that the people who's going to be out there caucusing for Pete Buttigieg is 100% dead set on Pete Booty? No, they're not. We'll be able to yang them, you know what I'm saying? So not only will we be able to have a strong showing in Iowa, potentially coming up maybe into 4th place in actual pledge delegates or even votes, right? going strong into New Hampshire with the same type of stuff where Yang has been putting so much work into the ground and on with ad buys and stuff like that. Guys, we've got this. We have 100% got this. But you have to contribute to this $1 million goal. You guys have to get on that 100%. There's nothing about it. And guess what? If you guys do that, like this person right here, that's a lot of booze, Steven Overwatch. You know what I'm saying? That person showed me a screenshot, you know what I'm saying? So get your screenshots out here, guys, and it has to be, you know, like updated. I ain't gonna sit here and shout you out for some past dated, you know, contributions, you know what I'm saying? So anyways, get out there, help this man get this ad in Iowa so we can get even more Yang curious people out there to caucus for him. If you don't know how to do it, if you don't know how to phone bank, caucus, do all that stuff, like I said, go to Paget's video. It's not that hard, guys. It's super easy. I also just wanted to say that if you guys like, because if Andrew Yang makes it to the White House, I'm obviously going to be making content. But even if he doesn't make it to the White House, let's say he decides to skirt the White House and he goes a different route until maybe next time, I want to still be here following that man and making content about him. And if you want Yang to be a celebrity for years to come, or at least have a dedicated person on YouTube making videos about him forever, go ahead and drop me a Patreon for as little as $5. You know what I'm saying? You can help me out, put some gravy in my pocket, and that way we can do this thing together and 100% always allow Andrew Yang to always have, you know, somebody on YouTube defending his ideas and pushing humanity first, right? So go to his website. Of course, I have Twitters, you know what I'm saying? Twitters. Go to the Twitters. I also have Discord where everybody everybody likes hanging out in Discord, you know what I'm saying? Everybody likes hanging out in Discord. It's the funnest place around, you know what I'm saying? The funnest place around. And Patreon, Discord, Twitter, and merch, all this stuff is right here on this channel, on the channel banner. All this stuff right here. You can't just go to the homepage, Patreon, Discord, Twitter, merch. And if you guys like the merch, go ahead and buy some. All these proceeds go to Yang. That's one of our biggest money bombs a lot of times. We're able to raise quite a few $100s just in merch sales alone. So make sure you guys buy some merch. If you guys send me a contribution screenshot saying that you've contributed within the day or so, I will 100% give you a code for a discounted price, and whatever money we still get from that, we'll still give it to Yang. You know what I'm saying? So get out there, guys. We have this in the bag. We can do this. He has a real path to victory. It's like surreal how easy it is. We can come out on top with Iowa. John Kerry was worse off than we was, and he ended up getting the nomination, in 2006, something like that. So let's get this thing, guys. Let's do this. Get out there and donate to this man. Ask your mama. You know what I'm saying? Ask your mama, rob a old lady, kids' lunch money. Go break that piggy bank open. You know what I'm saying? Get that change out the couch. Come on, guys. We got this.
1, 2, 3.